Representative Scott. Let's go to North Carolina, where the chair of Education and Workforce Committee is Dr. Virginia Foxx, is recognized for 5 minutes. Dr. Foxx.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank our witnesses for being here today. I'm going to ask Ms. Silvestri to pull her mic a little closer to her mouth so I was having trouble hearing you before. President Silvestri, you said in your opening statement, quote, "Our policy is to initiate an investigation each time the school system receives a complaint or we witness particular anti-Semitic, hate-filled, or racist language or actions. On average, how long does each anti-Semitism investigation take?"
I don't have an exact number of weeks that it takes, but I believe that we do a very thorough job, so we take as long as is needed to investigate.
Okay. Are the victims always notified of the results?
The victims are notified that an action has been taken, but not specifics of what the consequence was doled out.
Will you pledge to notify people when you have done the investigation?
We are working on improving our communication so that the victims have more information about what the outcome has been.
Okay, working on it. Okay. Ms. Superintendent Ford Murthel, you said in your submitted testimony that you were, quote, excited, end quote, about California's new ethnic studies law. However, we've heard from Jewish families who are concerned that Berkeley's curriculum presents a slanted perspective of the Israeli-Palestine conflict. For example, the curriculum teaches that the war's consequences for Palestine are, quote, no water, no food, no electricity, end quote. Whereas the consequences for Israel are, quote, ceremonies put on hold, travel advisories in place, and cities shut down. Do you think that's a fair representation of the Israeli-Palestine conflict?
I do not think that's a fair representation.
Have you consulted with Jewish groups in considering how you will teach ethnic studies?
So, Councilwoman, Congresswoman, I want to distinguish the lessons that I believe you're speaking about in our ethnic studies curriculum. The lessons that you're speaking about was a lesson set that was created in response to a lot of curiosity, a lot of questions, and quite frankly, a lot of confusion from many of our students wanting to know what was going on. And so we had a group of history teachers and social studies teachers and ethnic studies teachers create a lesson set in response to that. That is distinguished from Berkeley's ethnic studies curriculum.
Thank you. Mr. Banks, we've talked about the map that was posted in a school, the Arab Cultural Arts program at the school, where the map has been funded by the Qatar Foundation, a nonprofit owned by the country's ruling family. The Free Press has found that QFI donated over $1 million to the New York Department of Education from 2019 to 2022 for materials such as this map. You know the map I'm talking about, where Israel does not exist.
Yes.
Okay. Does your office vet the materials purchased by these funds for anti-Semitism? If not, will you commit to establishing vigorous vetting to ensure that foreign entities unfriendly to Israel are not stocking your classrooms with anti-Semitic content?
Yes, and we do vet the materials. That map was not a result of the Qatar Foundation. That individual teacher bought that map on her own with her own resources when she was in Jerusalem. That is what she told us. So it was not part of the resources that came from the Qatar Foundation. But we do vet all the other materials and resources that come into our schools, and that foundation has had no impact. They write the check. They've had no impact on the curriculum that's been developed and how it's been implemented.
So individual teachers are allowed to bring in materials that may be very anti-Semitic. Are you going to vet those materials?
Absolutely. And as we hear about those cases, in New York City, we have 77,000 teachers. And so, this is not Mayberry, it's New York City. It is a very large system, and it's difficult for me as the chancellor to say, any individual map that's up on a wall in any particular classroom, I'm already aware of it. But we make sure that the principals of those schools, they're supposed to provide that level of supervision.
I have one more quick question. for you, Mr. Banks. Do other countries donate significant sums to New York City public schools?
I do not have, I would have to get back to you on that. I do not have any evidence in front of me now that we have any other foreign governments which are supporting other programs in our schools. But I don't want to misrepresent here. We can certainly get you the answer for that by the end of the day.
Well, we'd be happy if you would follow up with an answer on that.
Absolutely
Thank you,
will.
Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you.